Silence is argument carried out by other means. The revolution is not an apple that falls when it is ripe. You have to make it fall. The life of a single human being is worth 1,000,000 times more than all the property of the richest man on earth. I am not a liberator. Liberators do not exist. The people liberate themselves. If I lose, it will not mean that it was impossible to win. The true revolutionary is guided by great feelings of love. One must endure without losing tenderness. Above all, try to be able to feel deeply any injustice committed against any person in any part of the world. I have a wish. It is a fear as well, that in my end will be my beginning. Every day people straighten up their hair, why not their heart? Peaceful coexistence cannot be limited to the powerful countries if we want to ensure world peace. The first duty of a revolutionary is to be educated. The only passion that guides me is for the truth. I look at everything from this point of view. I am an adventurer. Better to die standing than to live on your knees. Passion is needed for any great work, and for the revolution, passion and audacity are required in big doses. How easy it is to govern when one follows a system of consulting the will of the people and one holds as the only norm all the actions which contribute to the well-being of the people. Live your life not celebrating victories, but overcoming defeats. If you can find ways without any obstacles, it probably leads nowhere. Be realistic, demand the impossible. In a revolution, one triumphs or dies. Chess is an effective means to educate and train the human intellect. The world must not only be interpreted, it must be transformed. Man ceases to be the slave and tool of his environment and converts himself into the architect of his own destiny. You can change the world. One must have a large dose of humanity, a large dose of a sense of justice and truth in order to avoid dogmatic extremes, cold scholasticism, or in isolation from the masses. We must strive every day so that this love of living humanity is transformed into actual deeds, into acts that serve as examples, as a moving force. The ultimate and most important revolutionary aspiration, to see human beings liberated from their alienation. Real revolutionaries adorn themselves on the inside, not on the surface. We must struggle every day so that this love for humanity becomes a reality. You can live by your own rules. To accomplish much you must first lose everything. Words that do not match deeds are unimportant. We have no right to believe that freedom can be won without struggle. The best form of saying is being. The fundamental principle is that no battle, combat, or skirmish is to be fought unless it will be won. The socialist countries have the moral duty of liquidating their tacit complicity with the exploiting countries of the West. Some give the impression they go on living only because it's a habit they cannot shake. Revolution is impersonal. It will take their lives, even utilizing their memory as an example or as an instrument for domesticating the youth who follow them. Distant countries, heroic deeds and beautiful women spun around in our turbulent dream. It is important to emphasize that guerrilla warfare is a war of the masses, a war of the people. The guerrilla band is an armed nucleus, the fighting vanguard of the people. I doubted whether driftwood has the right to say, "I win," when the tide throws it onto the beach it seeks. Its vast and jarring rhythm hammered at the fortress within me and threatened its imposing serenity. I knew that the moment the great governing spirit strikes the blow to divide all humanity into just two opposing factions, I would be on the side of the common people. How can it be mutually beneficial to sell at world market prices the raw materials that cost the underdeveloped countries immeasurable sweat and suffering? We must not return to the practice of hiding our defects so they may not be seen. That would be neither honest nor revolutionary. The victory of socialism is well worth millions of atomic victims. A new era will dawn in Africa, when the impoverished masses of a nation rise up to rescue their right to a decent life from the hands of the ruling oligarchies. Justice remains the tool of a few powerful interests. Legal interpretations will continue to be made to suit the convenience of the oppressive powers. What do we leave behind when we cross each frontier? Each moment seems split in two, melancholy for what was left behind and the excitement of entering a new land. It is not just a simple game, it is a weapon of the revolution. We are overcome by anguish at this illogical moment of humanity. The question is one of fighting the causes and not just being satisfied with getting rid of the effects. It is not a matter of wishing success to the victim of aggression, but of sharing his fate. One must accompany him to his death or to victory. I wanted to take part in the liberation of even a small piece of enslaved Latin America. Many will call me an adventurer, and that I am, only one of a different sort, one of those who risks his skin to prove his platitudes. Our youth must always be free, discussing and exchanging ideas concerned with what is happening throughout the entire world. Revolution cleanses men, improving them as the experimental farmer corrects the defects of his plants. Man truly achieves his full human condition when he produces without being compelled by the physical necessity of selling himself as a commodity. The myth of the self-made man has to be profoundly hypocritical. It is the self-serving demonstration that elides the truth. Whenever death may surprise us, let it be welcome if our battle cry has reached even one receptive ear and another hand reaches out to take up our arms. Once again I feel beneath my heels the ribs of Rocinante. Once more, I'm on the road with my shield on my arm. The guerrilla band is not to be considered inferior to the army against which it fights simply because it is inferior in firepower. Americans are given the sole option of electing their jailer for 4 years and sometimes do him the honor of re-electing him. You have to be tough without ever losing your tenderness. It is a revolution that came to power with its own army and on the ruins of the army of oppression. If you have the capacity to tremble with indignation every time that an injustice is committed in the world, then we are comrades. Let the world change you and you can change the world. It's a sad thing not to have friends, but it is even sadder not to have enemies. We travel just to travel. It is an illusion to think that the matter cannot be resolved through words. The walls of the educational system must come down. Education should not be a privilege, so the children of those who have money can study.